We'll shuffle around the tape recorder.
So I can really make you all miserable. Thank you.
No problem.
Test, test. Oh, this guy. Oh.
Hello. All right. Welcome, everyone. We're going to begin our event. Thank you so much for joining us today. We're here with Shada Hanaysha. Oh, my gosh. Shada Hanaysha, who is joining us from Palestine. As you all know, she was a witness, a key witness, and a colleague of our beloved and late Shireen Abu Akleh. We're so excited to have her here. We're so privileged to have her here. So the event is really going to center around Shada's witness account, but we also have a couple of us. We will be speaking. My name is Fatin Jarara, and I am with Al-Awda NY Palestine Right to Return Coalition. We've been here for working together, you know, on behalf of Palestinian refugees and to advocate for the right of return to all of Palestine, for everyone who is a Palestinian. And I am going to start by reading everybody's biographies so that we set the tone for the evening. I will begin speaking, and then we will take it to the next couple of speakers. So I'll start by reading Shada Hanaysha's biography. So Shada Hanaysha is a Palestinian journalist from Jenin in the occupied West Bank. She has worked as a field journalist and reporter for several news websites and TV stations, including Al Jazeera. She has covered the region since 2015, often reporting on raids by Israeli occupation forces into Jenin and elsewhere in the West Bank. In May 2022, while reporting in Jenin as a correspondent for Ultra Palestine, she survived the shooting that killed Al Jazeera correspondent Shireen Abu Akleh. She earned her bachelor's in Palestine and is now pursuing a master's in media studies in the American University of Beirut. And then we also have Ande Richards, who's over here. Ande is the managing producer for Mosaic, a new platform from New Jersey Advanced Media. Ms. Richards delves into groups that need more attention, like our veterans, LGBTQ plus community, disability community, and people impacted by violence. Ms. Richards traveled to Haiti for 2 consecutive years, where she produced photo essays documenting the links as they provided support to schools, orphanages, and prisons with supplies and donations, along with conducting dental and medical pop-up clinics. We also have Khaled Zayed to my left. Khaled Zayed serves as the education coordinator for the New Jersey branch of American Muslims for Palestine. He's an IT director and adjunct faculty member, as well as an advocate for justice for Palestine. Khaled has been an activist for over 20 years and served as president of the Palestine Solidarity Committee during college. He has been working with AMP, American Muslims for Palestine, for 5 years. And me, I'm Fatin Jarara, and I've been active and organizing with Al-Awda, I would say, without exaggeration, for about 20 years now. So it really is my political home here in New York, and where I've always been, active, and I've always come back to Al-Awda. So I'm really happy to be here with all of you. Thank you so much for being here. So I'm gonna speak just a little bit, actually, because we have some wonderful speakers here. When I was preparing to talk, the revisiting of what happened to Shireen Abu Akleh was actually enraging. You know, just thinking about that day last year, May 11th, 2022. I am not somebody who really grew up knowing about Shireen Abu Akleh very much, having grown up in the diaspora, grew up mostly in Brooklyn. But the impact of her passing, of her murder, of her assassination, was so profound that it was absolutely shattering. This is something that I think as Palestinians we're very used to, unfortunately, the constant dehumanization of our people. But the fact that this happened not only on camera, not only so targeted and so brazen, not only to somebody who is very well known in our community, not only to somebody who is a clearly marked journalist, it really reminded me once again of how much the occupation wants to dehumanize our people. And that if it could happen to somebody as a giant as she is, it could happen to any one of us. It was really hard to go on that day, thinking about the impact that this had on my people back home and in the diaspora. And just to reconcile with the fact that, once again, our lives can be so toyed with and so disposed of in such a horrific manner. Again, it was incredibly hard for me to just prepare for today, because revisiting this was not easy, It is just another situation where we see something so tragic happen on TV, and even us as Palestinians who are very accustomed to seeing a lot of death and loss and destruction of our people, of our communities, our homelands, our homes, it still was unbelievable. So I just wanted to start with that. I also wanted to make sure that we do a land acknowledgement that we are on Lenape land over here. That is something that I think is important for us to acknowledge. I think, you know, we're all going to talk about this a little bit, but I've learned that maybe since 2000, there's been at least 20 journalists, Palestinian and otherwise, but majority Palestinian, that were killed by the Israeli occupation. And the number could actually be more than that. Shada, actually, I didn't see her in person, but I know that she was at Palestine Rights, which just happened. It's a literature festival in Philadelphia. And I was there too, but unfortunately our paths didn't cross then. She was part of a panel, and I was watching the panel from New York, where the number was said to be higher than 20. So you're talking about at least one professional journalist a year, if not more. Some Palestinian or majority Palestinian and a few international. Shireen herself was Palestinian and American. She was an American citizen, as many of you know. And the fact that still to this day there's no justice for her murder is absolutely insane. I think that we are not surprised to know that there hasn't really been much. I mean, even a year later, her family still seeks justice. Particularly her niece, Lina Abu Akleh, continues to advocate on her aunt's behalf. And nothing on the ground. I mean, even the states are not really particularly moving forward. There was a story in MSNBC highlighting the fact that there's still not much that's been going on as far as bringing the Israeli government to justice in this case. So none of us are surprised or shocked that there's nothing. And I think that when we think about the killing of Shireen Abu Akleh, sometimes I wonder, I mean, maybe Shada can answer this question that I've had since that day. Did that soldier who took her life, did he know who she was exactly, or was he just targeting somebody for fun? And neither answer, whether it's yes or no, is comforting, because whether he knew or not, if he were to know her, then, or she, but I believe it was a he, if this soldier, this killer, knew exactly who she was, they knew that they would not be reprimanded, they would not be given any consequences, because on the one hand, while the conviction rate of Palestinians under Israeli justice, quote unquote, is over 99%, the conviction rate of Israeli soldiers is less than 1%. So this person knew that the likelihood of them facing any consequences was very minimal. So whether or not this person knew that they were taking down a giant is kind of besides the point, because at the end of the day, whether it was somebody who is familiar to that person or not, they knew that they would have no consequences at the end of the day. One of the things that I remember from the panel that was really remarkable is that I think everybody who's followed that story has seen not only that Shireen was attacked in life, but she was attacked in death as well. The aftermath of her death, how obviously she was treated and her case was treated, where we were accused as Palestinians of being the ones who killed her, when we all knew that wasn't the case. And then after that, in her funeral, even then, we are not human. And even then, we have no dignity when it comes to the Israeli government. how they attacked the ball bearers and how they attacked the hospital that she was in, the people that were sick, the patients in the hospital as well. Even then, we had no dignity, and we had to fight for our voices. The panel, I think it was Zina Takruri, who's another Palestinian journalist, said that even in her death, she wanted to leave a story. Even in her death, she wanted to show just how much our people go through. And she could not just leave us without giving us something else to not just highlight the gravity of things on the ground. I wanted to mention a quote that she said that I think a lot of us have heard, and I actually forgot, I think of it over here. One of the quotes that she had said that I think is really, really profound, was really important for me to share. She said, and I'll translate it in English, اخترت الصحافة كي أكون قريبة من الإنسان. ليس سهلا ربما أن أغير الواقع، لكنني على الأقل كنت قادرة على إيصال ذلك الصوت إلى العالم. أنا شيرين أبو عقلة. I chose journalism to be close to humankind. Perhaps it is not easy for me to change reality, but at least I could deliver that voice of humankind to the world. I am Shireen Abu Akleh. And I think that's all I can really say, honestly. I'm looking forward to hearing from my peers and Shada in particular about this. Thank you so much for your time. So I'm going to give it over to Ande Richards, who will be speaking next.
Hello, good evening, everyone. My name is Ande Richards, and I work at NJ Advanced Media. Can you not hear me? Okay, is this good? Can you hear me? Where was I? So I want to thank everyone for inviting me to be here this evening. And I wanted to say to Shatha, I am so sorry for your loss. Like Fatin, I also revisited last year, and it was very jarring to go back and read the reports. And I actually read a report that CNN had, an updated report about Shireen, and they said that there was new evidence that pointed to it being a targeted attack against her and against journalists. And it was just so painful to read that. And so I know you were there, and I just can't even imagine. So I just, I know we're here smiling with each other, but I feel for you and for everyone in the community. The Committee to Protect Journalists said that the murders of journalists went up 50% in 2022. There were 67 worldwide, the highest since 2018. And 41 were killed in retaliation for their work. And that was according to NPR. There are hot spots. I know that Fatin mentioned 20 Palestinian journalists were killed. According to the University of Oxford, in Mexico, 11 were killed, surpassing Ukraine and Syria. We never hear about these things. The other country behind them is Haiti, with 9 journalists who were murdered. Leaders disparage journalists, and that is one reason why we are attacked across the world and without impunity, not just in Palestine. The Brazilian president, Bolsonaro, called journalists despicable bastards. The Salvadoran president, Bukele, said, we are political activists for the opposition. And the Nicaraguan Vice President Rosario said, we are information terrorists. Clearly, there are many issues in Central America regarding free press. The Mexican President Obrador said it is, I can't read my own handwriting. Journalist wrote an open letter to the President of Mexico asking for a cease to the harassment of criticism about journalists, because when leaders speak about the journalists, people listen, as is evidenced by a leader that we had a while back. We'll get to him in a minute. Haiti was the second deadliest country with 9 journalists killed. As many of you know, Haiti is in a devastating state of just chaos right now, and the journalists are marked, basically. And targeting journalists undermines democracy. It undermines press freedom, and I think that is the goal of many of the leaders. And clearly, in Palestine, not only are the people oppressed, they don't want the world to know about the oppression. So it's not enough to oppress the people. We also don't want anyone to know what is happening there. But I don't know. There's this hopeful Pollyanna part of me that believes that this is going to change, that we can make this change. Again, the Committee to Protect Journalists said, and I guess now I'm reading this, no one was convicted for nearly 80% of the murders. So I know you said that no one was convicted for Shireen. Basically, no one is being convicted for the murders of journalists. And that is during the last 10 years. As we know, former President Trump was very anti-press. It's a tool that politicians use to gain power. They like to create chaos. They like to make the media the enemy of the people. I know that you read a quote from Shireen. My reason for being a journalist is because I was told we're the watchdogs for the people, and we're the first pages of history. So it is very important that we exist. We're not perfect, but many of us strive to tell the stories of people. And in my case, I work for local media. We cover the state of New Jersey, but I also cover stories where people are killed, and the people that killed them, mainly the police, are not brought to justice. So it's a very similar situation, actually. As you were speaking, I'm like, this sounds eerily familiar to me. We also know that in addition to other communities, the disabled community is also attacked. And if you are a reporter and you're disabled, then you are doubly attacked, as we could see by President Trump and his supporting people who actually have attacked the disabled community who are reporting. And I'm not going to get into the details of that. Here in the United States, there was a cable news reporter who was pushed to the ground and handcuffed and arrested in Ohio when he was reporting on the train derailment. And I'm talking about the U.S. now, not because of the subject matter being Palestine, but because we need to know that this is worldwide and it's right here at home. So there were also other reporters in Minneapolis who were arrested reporting the uprisings there as well. I had the opportunity to meet the partner of Jamal Khashoggi when I was in Los Angeles, which was also, I really don't like meeting people under these horrible circumstances, but you all know about his case. It really saddens me, and I should have said this at the very beginning, all of these opinions are mine and do not represent my company. But it really saddens me to see our president prancing around with the Saudis and not having addressed the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. Also, Daniel Pearl, was killed, although that was publicized. He was a Wall Street journalist who was killed in Pakistan, brutally killed, taken hostage and killed. And I also actually got to meet Maria Ressa, who is a Filipina. She owns Rappler in the Philippines. Probably many of you know about her. She has been arrested several times for reporting against her government and was also fearful for her life. And just to bring it really home, I got most of my training as a journalist at Los Angeles City College. And we had to do everything. This is where we learned how to interview people, how to write, how to do broadcast, whatever the skills it is you needed. And we would report on our college campus and also in the East Hollywood community. And we were denied entry at events on campus. We had the campus police called on us several times. We were basically denied freedom of press. And student press is like regular press. We have the same rights. We don't need a press card. You can go in, identify yourself as press, and do your job. As long as you do it respectfully, there should be no issue. Things got so bad that this year the Los Angeles Times actually did a feature on our journalism department and the problems we were having on campus. So I just say all of that to say press around the world is attacked and press right here at home is attacked. At New Jersey Advanced Media, we had a journalist who had to be moved into a hotel with his family because he was being attacked via email, and threats were being made that they were going to show up and do things. So I guess that's what I wanted to say to everyone this evening, just to bear in mind that the press is vital to democracy, and that we should support the press wholly and fully. Most of us, I won't say all of us, but most of us work really hard to like Shireen, like Shatha, to unveil the truth, to show you what's going on in the world. And that's it. Thank you very much.
All right, I'm gonna give it over to Khaled Zayed from AMP, American Muslims for Palestine.
Thank you, Fatin. Can you guys hear me okay? All right. Salam, hello, how's everyone doing? On behalf of American Muslims for Palestine, AMP, I would like to thank Al-Awda. By the way, Al-Awda means right of return, if you, in case you don't speak Arabic. I'd like to thank Shada and then Andy and then everybody here. Thank you so much for being here. I know it's very difficult for you to, it was difficult for me to come from Central Jersey all the way here, the traffic. So thank you so much. I understand you being here. You could have been somewhere else, you know, maybe, you know, watching a movie or something, but you care about justice. That's why you're here. So I'd like to thank you for that. Again, my name is Khaled Zayed. I'm Palestinian American. I've been in New Jersey for about 13 years. I moved here from Alaska. I was one of the few people who were standing outside in cold, you know, protesting for Palestine right after 9/11 and after they bombed Gaza, after the 2006, I think, if I remember correctly, the first time they bombed Gaza, or that time, or 2008. I believe it was 2006 was Lebanon. And so I was one of the few people. I was working for a group called Alaskans for Peace and Justice. And I moved here and I joined AMP about a few years back. I'm so happy to be with them. Again, I'm not a journalist. I'm an advocate, and I promote justice for the people of Palestine. We, as we all, I'm sure all of us here, condemn the treatment of the Palestinian civilians and journalists, and their treatment by the State of Israel, the Zionist State of Israel, who have been under brutal occupation and oppression for so long. My heart goes out to Shireen. I've been following Shireen Abu Akleh for a long time. I'm a fan of Al Jazeera. I watch Al Jazeera Arabic and English. Sometimes I drive and I turn on on my phone and I watch live broadcast. So I've known about Shireen for a long time, but I didn't know much about her personal life, like who she is, and I just knew that she was a great journalist. I watch her reports, I listen to her, I learn from her. So when she passed away, when she was murdered by the State of Israel, I started to watch, documentaries and watch videos about her on YouTube and Facebook, and I learned that she's not only a great journalist, she was a great person. I saw a documentary where she was actually like, sitting with kids and playing with kids and having a good time, and everybody loved her. She was a very good person. She did so much for the cause of justice for Palestine, and she ended up paying her life for that. She was killed, and I personally believe that she was targeted. It wasn't an accident. Israel does this all the time, and I know Andy talked about the community to protect journalists. I was going to bring a quote about that. So according to that organization, CPJ, the Community to Protect Journalists, they say 20 journalists died by Israeli military fire in 22 years, and no one has been held accountable. They go on to say that May 11, 2022, remember this date, this is the date where she was murdered. The killing of Al Jazeera Arabic correspondent Shireen Abu Akleh is part of a deadly decades-long pattern. Over 22 years, CPJ has documented at least 20 journalist killings by members of the Israeli Defense Forces. Nothing's defensible about them. They just call them I call them IOF, Israeli Occupation Forces. Despite numerous IDF probes, no one has ever been charged or held responsible for these deaths. The impunity in these cases undermined the freedom of press, leaving the rights of journalists in precarity. The Human Rights High Commission Office, they wrote regarding Shireen, they said Shireen Abu Akleh is a Palestinian-American journalist, an acclaimed correspondent for Al Jazeera, was shot dead on 11th of May 2022 while performing her duty as a journalist, reporting on Israel's raid in the Jenin refugee camp. Several independent investigations carried out by various bodies and organizations, including the Office of the UN High Commission of Human Rights, concluded that Abu Akleh was most likely killed by seemingly well-targeted shots fired by Israeli forces, despite her wearing clear identification as a journalist. Internal investigations carried out by the Israeli forces found a high possibility that Abu Akleh was accidentally hit and by the IDF gunfire. However, to date, Israeli authorities have not opened a criminal investigation into her death or held anyone accountable. Since 2001, at least 18 Palestinian journalists, again, this is according to the same organization, the UN organization. Speaking of another incident that happened as a harassment of a Palestinian journalist, was reported by Reporters Without Borders. They say on July 3rd, Al-Arabi TV, reporter Amjad Shahada and the cameraman Rabih Munir were broadcasting live from Jenin refugee camp in the West Bank with their cameras on a tripod in the streets, and when an Israeli armored vehicle stopped and soldiers inside the vehicle began firing live rounds at the camera and the broadcasting equipment next to it. The shooting did not stop until the equipment exploded and the camera fell to the ground. There was and I'm not sure, maybe Shada can talk about this new documentary that just came out, the investigative report, what is it called? Ma Khafi A'zam, that was about media coverage, and it's actually a very good program that I don't know if it was translated into English, or there is maybe it's Al Jazeera investigative program. It's called What is Great is Hidden, and it's investigative program. It's actually they revealed a close cooperation between the Israeli cyber unit and the American company Facebook or Meta, with the aim of removing anti-Israel Arab and Palestinian content on Facebook and Instagram. And then right after this documentary was broadcasted, they removed the Facebook page of I'm sorry, what's his name? Tamer Mishal. They shut down his Facebook page. Right, he's the introducer of this investigative reporter. So. So they retaliated against him and they shut down his Facebook page because he, and I recommend if you can Google it, and it's called, I don't know if it's the version of that in English, but I recommend that everybody watch it. I don't know how much time I have, maybe I should end it now. 2 minutes, okay. So forget about the rest of the stuff. I'm gonna get to the end because since I don't wanna take over, I respect time. So just again, what can you do? And I'm not gonna go through the rest of the stuff that I had prepared. As AMP, and I recommend that everybody here, work with us and work with Al-Awda, because we do a lot of work together and we advocate and promote justice for people of Palestine. AMP is doing something noble that I recommend that you all sign up and attend this event. It's coming up next month in October 23rd and 24th, and it's called Palestine Advocacy Day, PAD. We've been doing this for a few years. And Palestine Advocacy Day is basically all advocates for Palestine go to Washington, D.C., and then we have this, we meet Congress and we promote justice. So what is PAD? Since 2015, American Muslims for Palestine, AMP, has organized an annual Palestine Advocacy Day and training weekend to educate students, community activists, and organizers, young and old, on civic engagement and policy work exclusively on the issues of Palestine. As of 2021, Palestine Advocacy Day was handed off to Americans for Justice in Palestine Action, AJP Action, AMP's affiliate organization. It's 501c organization. Last year, Palestine advocates helped us break a record of 803 participants from all across the nation. This year, we are excited to announce Palestine Advocacy Day 2023 from Monday, October 23rd to Tuesday, October 24th. Unfortunately, this time is not weekend. It's going to be Monday and Tuesday in Washington, D.C. So if you would like to sign up, and we encourage especially students and everybody to sign up for this event and come to Washington, D.C. so we can promote justice for Palestine. We can also bring up the issue of Shireen and talk to the Congress and about this and demand justice for her. And the last thing is that in order for you, if you want to sign up, go to ajpaction.org/PAD2023. And I have the link. If you would like to talk to me afterward, I can write it down for you or I can email it to you. So again, ajpaction.org/PAD2023. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we're gonna pass it over to our wonderful guest, Shada Hanaysha. So please give it up for Shada.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. I want to bring my jacket because it's too cold. I don't know.
I'll bring it to you.
Sorry. Hi. Now I can speak. She speak about me. My name is Shada Hanaysha. I'm from Jenin in West Bank. I worked as a journalist from 2015 in West Bank. At the beginning of my career, I was interested in social issues in my region, but later I discovered that politics is to my English. That political is an integral part of our social life. Every Palestinian household has a prisoner, a wounded person, or a martyr. Every time I visited people's homes in the West Bank, my belief in this matter grows stronger. I become interested in covering the stories of Palestinian prisoners held in jail in Israeli jails, including child prisoners and the oldest prisoners who were detained before the Oslo Accords. If you were born after 1993, it means that the years of their that they spend in prison are longer than your age. I become passionate about conveying the stories of the martyrs, not just as a numbers or names, but as individuals with their dreams, aspirations, and memories. Each Palestinian martyr killed by Israeli soldiers is a human being, someone who had dreams of becoming a football player, or a doctor, or actor. Some left behind a wife and children. I haven't mentioned their names because I want us to care about all the martyrs and explore their stories of all of them. Every time I entered a new Palestinian home, my determination and belief in the importance of our role as a journalist increased. Our presence as a Palestinians everywhere in the world is crucial for speaking about the Palestinian case, exposing the crimes of the Israeli occupation in Palestine, and continuously defending every Palestinian living in the West Bank, Gaza, 1948 area, Jerusalem, as well as Palestinians in refugee camps and diaspora. In my area, I was the first female journalist from Jenin to cover clashes and Israeli operations in the Jenin area. For me, going out in the field was a duty toward my work and my homeland to convey the truth. All I did was convey the reality and to be voice of these people, the voice of the Palestinians living under occupation. On 11 May, my day started like any other in my journalism career, but it ended tragically. I received a call from my colleague Mujahid Al-Saadi informing me that there is Israeli forces had invaded Jenin camp. This was common among us as the Palestinian colleagues. We call each other to tell each other that there is like operation or something happened in the area. I rushed to the entrance of Jenin camp where was Mujahid and other colleague Ali Samoudi. He's a Jazeera producer. They were waiting for me. We were all wearing our press vests and helmets. Ali suggested we wait for Al Jazeera team, Shireen, Majdi, Muhannad, and Muhammad, who were there on their way. I agreed thinking that it would be best to move together as a group of journalists. When Al Jazeera team arrived, they also put on their press vests and helmets. We, Mujahid, Ali, Shireen, and I began to move on the main street, heading toward to a side street where we saw Israeli military vehicles. Up until the moment, everything seemed normal. There were no gunfire, no armed individuals around us, no clashes, nothing happened in the area. And it was like a usual morning. The people, they were going to their work from this main street. There is bus school. He stopped and asked us what happened. And there is like young men that gathering and speaking and laughing. And this gave us a sense of safety. We stood there in the main street, like in front of the side street for 5 minutes, making sure that our friends, that we are showing as journalists to the Israeli soldiers. this was our usual practice when we covering to show ourselves as a journalist. If the Israeli soldiers didn't want us in the area, they usually respond by firing like sound grenades or tear gas toward us, and sometimes they firing warning shots into the ground to signal that we should stay away, but none of this happened. Then we start moving forward, talking, laughing, and walking calmly. There was no fear or concern. Sorry. When we arrived to a small factory, we hear the first gunshot hitting to the wall. At that moment, my colleague Mujahid, he starts screaming, "This shoot on us," and he jumped from an open window in the wall, factory wall, and he asked us to go to him. My vest was like heavy, and I told him, "No, I can't jump." And I started returning back to the main street with Shireen. And when I turned back, she told me, "Ali got injured." So we start walking. There is like plaque in my head from this moment to the moment that I was in the behind the tree. Sorry. No, it's okay. When I arrived behind the tree, I looked at Shireen to give her the space to come to me, and then I saw Shireen falling down to the ground, on the ground. I tried to reach Shireen, but there was gunfire directed toward me every time. Every time I tried to touch her or to reach her. In the beginning, I didn't realize that she was wounded. I thought she had like stumbled and fallen. When I saw that she wasn't moving, I knew that she had injured, but I didn't know where she had been hit. After while I saw blood on the ground beneath her head. During this time, a young man named Sharif Al-Azab tried to cross the street to help us, but there was continuous gunfire in the area. And then I yelled at him, "Don't come, don't get closer," because I felt the bullets, I felt the shooting around me, and I knew that if he came, he will get killed. If he crossed the street, where it come to us. Then Sharif, he take it off his jacket and went to the main street that I told you. It was like a normal life there. And he walk in the main street and come to the wall, jump from to the wall behind me and come next to me. First of all, we tried, me and him, to take Shireen and reach Shireen, but the gunfire is still going. And then Sharif, he thought that this tree will not fit, the two of us. So he take me out from our hole, like a small hole in the wall, and take me like in the factory. And then he returned and take Shireen body. And then we take Shireen body or Shireen in a civilian vehicle. We rushed to the hospital, and it was, and later they tried like for 1 hour with her, but at the end they said that she passed away. The Israeli army claimed that Shireen's death was unintentional. However, the first bullet hit the wall. The second bullet hit Ali back. And a bullet killed Shireen. And there is the gunfire continue toward me and Sharif. And I don't know how they say that it is like by accident, because all the time there is gunfire on us. Nobody can believe that. I lived in trauma for a whole year after this incident, seeking help from therapists to come to terms with what happened. I can't talk about it now, but it took me a full year to do so. To this day, I have not watched any videos or photos from that day. I remember my family, well, during those days, intentionally news spread that I was the one who had been killed. My brother woke up to this news, and my sister saw a picture of a Palestinian female, like a journalist, here, and she thought it's me. And my entire family went through a shock that day, and they have not fully recovered from it until now. Every time I go out to work, I go out to cover, they go back to the same situation, to the same feeling. The Palestinian journalists today live in constant fear and anxiety. Anxiety.
Yep.
That's it. That's it. Okay, sorry. We leave our homes to cover the news, not knowing if we will return back. Not just me, all the Palestinian journalists. I know friends and colleagues, they say goodbye to their kids, to their family, every time they go out to cover news or to cover things happened in West Bank or in Palestine. And others, they always get phones from their families, from their wives, from their kids. Are you okay? Everything is okay? And you know, as a journalist, sometimes we get mad, stop calling us, but we know the situation, we know why they are calling. Attacks on Palestinian journalists didn't start with Shireen killing, and they haven't stopped since. From 2023, there have been more than 600 violations against journalists. On the country, they continue. They continue, and it's become more and more. Every day, there is targeting of journalists with, they hit us, they're beating us with sound grenades. I should remember the grenades, tear gas, sometime with bullets. The most recent incident was the targeting of journalist Muhammad Abu Amra, who was shot in the hand while he was holding his camera during his coverage of protests in Gaza border. What set Palestinian journalists apart is that every new day brings a new assault, a new crime, and a difficult situation to cover. We don't just capture the moment of martyr falls to Israeli bullets. We also capture the tears of their mothers, their stories, and the tales shared by their loved ones. Palestinian journalists are not only living difficult situation on the ground, but also on the social media platforms. Companies like Meta regularly close our accounts simply because we report news from Palestine, as they don't want us to convey the truth to the world. this is why it is crucial to stand up every day and demand punishment for those responsible for Shireen's death. By doing so, we are fighting for all Palestinians, not just the journalists, because there is a lot of young men, of people, of kids who got killed while they sitting in their houses, while they're going back from work, while they're standing in the window. And we are fighting for all Palestinians and against the daily assaults carried out by the Israeli occupation, knowing that they will not be held accountable unless we demand it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shada. يعطيك العافية. It's a really wonderful thing that we have you here. And actually, I'm not surprised that you say that you haven't seen the videos, but a lot of us have, and I think that you've described them exactly how we've seen them, and that's how jarring that day was for us who've seen what happened with Shireen. We're going to open it up to questions at this time, and we just ask that you, we do have some time for questions, but please limit them to questions. We have a rare opportunity for here with us, that Shada's here with us, so we'd like to make sure that everybody gets a chance to ask questions, whether it's directed to Shada or anyone else over here. So we'll do that right now. I'm going to repeat the question. Yeah. Okay, so the first question is, we all know that the Israeli investigation is a sham, but as a first witness, Shada, were you ever interviewed by the Israeli side for the purpose of the investigation?
No, they didn't. They didn't reach me out, or not me or anyone from my colleagues. So no. And there is a question that you ask me, does the soldier know that this is Shireen? I think, yeah, he know. Yeah, he knew that. First of all, he know that we are journalists, and it is not by mistake killing Shireen, shooting on us, injured Ali. If you remember, in 2002, when they went to Jenin camp and destroyed the camp, they closed the camp. No any journalist can enter the camp, so they did the everything, killing the people, destroyed the house without any journalist covering in the ground. So what happened, like a few days before killing Shireen, it was like a huge ceremony for the martyrs in Jenin camp, and there is a lot of journalists coming, international journalists, local journalists coming from all over, speaking about the people in the camp, speaking about those martyrs, their stories. And for me, as Shada, I believe that this is annoying them, and this is why they want the journalists to be afraid from being in the camp. So they choose the most knowing journalist, the most beloved journalist, Shireen, to make the journalists be afraid from being in Jenin camp, in the West Bank, in covering and telling the truth to the world. So I think, yeah, they know this. It's Shireen. There is mic there. There is mic, I think. There.
Okay. You can just say your question and we'll repeat it on the mic. Thank you.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
So the question was, does Shada feel in danger for speaking out as a witness? And the person who asked the question said that they were in Palestine a while back, and it was difficult for them to enter and leave, as it is for Palestinians, of course. So the second question is, how is it for you leaving Palestine to tell the story?
Okay. You should know that Ali Samoudi, my colleague, he was, every time he traveled from West Bank, you know how we traveled to the world. We go from the West Bank to Jericho, the city, then from Jericho to Jordan. We cross by Palestinian Authority border, then Israeli border, then Jordanian border, then we go out to the world. This is the situation for all of us as a Palestinian. Ali Samoudi, before what happened, he always sit down for like 6 hours waiting and without nothing, just waiting, to make it difficult for him every time he traveled. But after what happened, he traveled without any stop, without anything. And if you think about it a little bit, all the time, Israel said that we are not, at first they said, it is not us. Then they said, it is by mistake. Then I think if they stopped us, it will be like something to tell the world, yeah, if it was by mistake, why you stopped them? So I think this is the reason why they don't, until now, I don't know if I went back what they will do, but until now, they didn't stop us. But there is my third colleague, Mujahid Al-Saadi, he can't travel. And a lot of Palestinians, because for your second question, a lot of Palestinians in West Bank, they can't travel. They prevent from traveling for like 99 years. Not because like they are prisoners or anything, because, for example, they are related for martyr or prisoner or anything. And Mujahid Al-Saadi, when he tried to go to Jordan for to speak with the investigator who come from America, they prevent him from traveling and they stopped him and they told him that you're not allowed to be traveling. So it depends. Sometimes, it's the situation in Palestine or in traveling in Palestine. It's like depending in how they think that, oh, okay, now you're allowed to travel. Now you're not allowed to go back to your town. This is the situation.
I just want to quickly add a follow-up to what Shada said about Palestinians traveling. I think Shada and I share the same experience. Of course, Shada is born and lived in Palestine, but we have similar Palestinian documents. So normally, I would also, if I were to go to Palestine, travel in the same way through Jordan, cross through the border, and go through those three, checkpoints. And everybody, like she said, everybody's experience is different. Actually, it's interesting to hear that as a journalist, some of her colleagues do go through like interrogation and going through the bridge, as we call it, is already very long. So I can't imagine it being even longer because you're being interrogated for the kind of work that you do. Easily a day gets lost in traveling for Palestinians from the West Bank. And I think that, she's highlighting the experience of Palestinians from the West Bank specifically. But if it's me, somebody who's been active with Al-Awda for a while, if I didn't have that ID and those papers, I know that I would have a harder time in comparison to even my cousin who doesn't have the same ID as me, who's born and raised here, or my my friends who are Palestinian, who many of which have been banned from going to Palestine for their activism. So unfortunately, every Palestinian's experience is different, and it is really often kind of at the whim of the soldiers who are there. If they find out that you are somebody who's active or who's a journalist, it almost seems to not matter what traveling documents you have as far as letting you in, letting you out. So it's a good question to ask because it highlights that it almost doesn't matter what documents you hold.
And I think this is why it's important. We always say that if you want to speak about Palestine, don't speak about Palestine. Speak about the people who live in Palestine. Because everyone, he has his own story. He has his own difficult life. For me, if I want to go from Jenin to Ramallah, there is many checkpoints that they put it in the street from nowhere. They stop the cars. Sometimes, for example, once I saw them, they training the new soldiers on the Palestinian young men, how they check them, how they stop them, how they should checking if they hold anything, how they used our bodies as something to train. Yeah, this is. So it's important to speak about the people, about the people who live there. If you heard that there is a Palestinian get killed, search about his name, read about him. Who's this Palestinian? What he did, how he lived his life, what he dream about. You will discover that he's just like you. He's a person. He has a dream. He has a life. So this is important. This is why we should not speak about Palestine. We should speak about the people. Because if we start speaking about the people, I think we will make the change. We will change something because this is important.
Can I add something? Of course. So I just wanted to say that we should see people as people here and abroad. And I remember when I found out that Shireen was murdered, I posted on Twitter thinking, oh, I'm in a community with all of these journalists. Everyone's going to offer condolences or say nothing. No one said anything. And not only did no one say anything, I remember a friend, Zaid Muhammad, who is also an activist, said to me, you did that at your own peril because of the job you have. So it's very tricky. You have to be really brave to support the Palestinian people in this country. I'm not even exaggerating. So I will continue, and I hope that everyone else listening and watching us just gets to know more stories, like you said.
Yeah. And there is something important we should say about, for example, when Shireen got killed, there is a lot of international media organizations speak with me, and I was I didn't know anything what happened around me. I just walking the street in Jenin Street with the people who carrying Shireen body, and there is if you ask me who speak with you that time, I can't remember, but there is an organization. They start asking me, "Are you sure that the soldiers who killed?" And I was shocked because I saw everything. I didn't know that there is like another story that telling outside that there's young men who shoot Shireen, who I didn't know anything about that. And what? I saw the vehicles. We ran away from them. You know, how do you ask me this question? No, because the Israeli side say that no, we are not the one who killed Shireen. So this is important for me as a journalist. I hate all the journalists in that time. I hate all of them because they start not believing the witness. No, they believe. For me, I don't believe in government. I believe in people. Yeah. So I hope all the journalists will do that. You know, speak with the people, hear their stories, ask them, and of course they will say that even if they say that yeah, we are the one who killed Shireen, but they will not care if you write about that. But it's good to write. It's good to say. Yani, we should always speak about the truth, about the people, about the freedom, because this is make us a human, and this is like will give us the peace inside us that we are stand up with those people and tell the world what happened with them. And I think the Palestinian here, this is the first time I met the American Palestinian people. So I think you have the chance to change. Yani, for us as a Palestinian who live in Palestine, until now we speak with ourselves, to be honest with you. We always, if we want to share a story, we write it in Arabic. If we want to say anything, even if we want to complain about anything, we speak in Arabic and complain to ourselves, to each other. So I think a lot of you speak Arabic, read in Arabic, follow the not just the journalists who work in the West Bank. Now there is the people who like Muhammad al-Kurd. When he start covering Sheikh Jarrah, he start from his neighborhood. He speak about what happened in his neighborhood. And this is what the Palestinians now doing, and this is great. So I think now it is not just the journalist. No, it is now all the Palestinians who start speaking, and it's your turn to speak about them, to write about them. They speak in Arabic, speak in English, speak in the language that you know, so that all the people will know what happened in Palestine. A lot of international journalists, when they come to Jenin camp, for example, they were shocked. They're journalists, and they coming to cover stories, and they should like have their own like knowledge about what happened. And when they come to the ground, they were shocked. Because why is that? Because the stories that they heard, it come from the Israeli side. And now today, for example, I was searching about something. I want to check things in English here, and all the news come. It was I write something Palestinian thing, and all the news was Israeli news in English. And what? Who speak about the Palestinian here? Who tell the people what happened with us? Are the people dying in Palestine and no one know here? I think no one know in the world. But at least it is the Palestinian, the one who like care about Palestine, about he should speak. Even in his social media account, even a story on Instagram, it will make change. For example, in Palestine rights, there is the security woman. She come to me and told me, I didn't even know the story. Thanks for telling me the story. Now I will tell her to tell this story to everyone I know. So I was like, oh my God, this is the people I want to speak with. The people who, they don't know what Palestine. When I say Palestine, Pakistan. this is the people who are important to know about Palestine. So it is your turn, I think. You can ask any question in your mind. It's okay.
I think Khaled wants to follow up real quick, and then I'll give you a question.
If anybody wants to ask a question, I can wait. I just want to give you guys an opportunity to to ask a question, especially Shada's here. You're not going to see her every day, so ask her all the questions you want. Yeah, she's leaving.
Now, she asked if I will return to Palestine. Of course. But now I'm studying in Lebanon. So I go back to Palestine every like vacation. In summer vacation, I went to Palestine for like 100 days. I count them, and I covered the news. I went to, because now this everything happened now. Yani it's like the most of things happened in Jenin camp in my area. So I stay in Jenin camp and cover the news. And you know, it's I think to be Palestinian is a disease in somehow, because for me, I always think about Palestine. When I went to Lebanon, the first thing I did, I went to the Palestinian refugee camps. I speak with the people, and everyone, oh, are you crazy? You are in Lebanon. Enjoy Lebanon. What are you doing? But for me, I think I always search for Palestine everywhere. So when I went back in summer vacation, the first thing I did, even I don't work now. I don't have a work because they give me a vacation to study, but I went back and work again because I think this is what I should do. This is my duty. This is me. I should speak about these people. So always I will go back to Palestine. Now I feel I'm in Palestine, by the way. In Arabic? Okay. In Arabic, there is the website I work with, Ultra Palestine. Ultra, yeah, Palestine. It's a local website. They always write about what happened in Palestine. Even the things that, like, if there is a fight between the Palestinians, they wrote about. So you will feel like you are in Palestine when you're. There is like شبكة قدس الإخبارية. They always write. There is an English Facebook page for them. Wafa, the authority, the government website. And there is you can follow me on Instagram if you want. Yeah, there is a lot of people. Eyewitness Palestine. I think all of you know it. They always share. They do a great job, by the way.
I just want to say, if you do want to follow Shada, her Instagram is Shada Hanaysha. That's ShathaHanaysha. Just like we have it on all of our flyers, that is her Instagram.
By the way, they closed. I have another one, and they closed it to me when I shared that I'm coming to Palestine rights. They closed it immediately, and because they went to the news that I covered, the photos that I shared, and they start like, reported until they closed my account. So this is my second account. The second one, they closed it. So it's always happened with all the journalists, or everyone who share anything about Palestine. I think this is like إنه مسخرة. I don't know how to say it. Not joke. It's like what? Yeah. Yeah, because this is our life. If we didn't share this, what we should share? Yani, for me as a journalist, this is my work. I should go to like any protest and take photos, videos, and share it on Instagram. So this is my job, and they close my Instagram, or they like, you know, delete the picture because it is like. And I filmed shot this morning. Your account has been disabled for violating our terms. Just to share the news, because and I sent them an email. I told them, this is my job. I'm journalist and I'm sharing news, and this is how they answer me. Okay, for us as a Palestinian, we always believe that there is a connection between Meta and Israel. So this is and this is the investigation that he speak about. Al Jazeera reporter Tamer al-Mishal, he did a huge investigation about. Oh, this is me speaking. Thank you for hearing me twice. Tamer al-Mishal, he did like a huge investigation about how Meta follow the Palestinian content, and they delete his account when he shared this investigation, and this is like a joke, you know. Now they give it back because he's from Jazeera, and there is a lot of people who spoke about this, you know, how they do that. You know, he shared like an investigation said that they delete the Palestinian accounts because speaking about Palestine, but in the same time, and it was a good one because what he did and his team, he create a page, Israeli page for settlers, and start speaking against the Palestinians and use like kill Palestinian and a lot of things, and they didn't do anything with this. No, they didn't delete it, and this is how we know. They always, we know as like journalists, colleagues, and friends, we know that there is some of us. There is every day there is a new account, and we don't know where to go. صراحة, and this is the only place that we can share what we about Palestine.
One of my own experience, one of my stories is they closed. Well, I had when they bombed Gaza last time, I started a Facebook page and in Arabic, and the page had like 1,000 people followers, and then within a few days it reached 30,000 followers, and then Facebook shut it down. They never let me. I tried to bring it back. They shut it down. So what I had just talk about what Shada said just quickly about, Palestinians always want to go back to Palestine, and anywhere there's a Palestinian, like, places and things like that. When I lived in Alaska, I was there for 12 years, and whenever I traveled to the lower 48 states, I always wanted, the first place I want to go is a Palestinian restaurant, Palestinian store, and things like that. So it's something that we always, in our mind, is we always have to go back to Palestine. And talking about the story of preventing people from going into Palestine, I was detained on the border a few times. So I know how it feels like when you're an activist in the United States. And the thing that Shada talked about, when she was Googling Palestine and Israeli sources came up in the beginning. I mean, there's a lot of people out here in the United States speak out for Palestine. The problem is, because working in tech, I know that they use the algorithm, like they control it, what you can see on Google. Like, so I know for a fact that there's a lot of people out there, they write about Palestine, they post videos and things like that. But the problem is the tech companies in the United States, like Meta, Facebook, and Google and others. So we have to put the pressure on them. We have to complain. We have to say something. And we have to play their game. Like, if, for example, if you're going to write something on social media that's going to get you in trouble or shut down your account, just try to write it in a different way, right? Just play with the algorithm. Just play with their game. I had a Facebook, my own Facebook account years ago, maybe a few years ago. I wrote something about Israel, and I had the mentioned in my account where I teach. I teach college IT courses and things like that, and it was my mistake to mention in my account and someone contacted the college and says he's an anti-Semite. Why you let him teach at your college? So the dean actually asked me for a meeting, and it was a problem. And I called CARE, a Council on American Islamic Relations, and they gave me some legal advice. And I met with them, but then after that meeting, nothing happened. But after they kind of gave me warnings, like, oh, you mentioned the name of the school, where you teach, and things like that. I was like, well, it's a freedom of speech. So I ended up just not mentioning where I work on my Facebook account, and I ended up also creating another fake account, not my first name but different last name. And then I just write about Palestine, and if it gets shut down, it's fine, because my main account is still saved. So this is just something that we have to think about. We have to play their game. They just play with us. They do these things. They control what can people see on social media. And then you write something like she talked about Yasser Mishal. He created 2 accounts at the same time. Al Jazeera investigative report created 1 account in Arabic, 1 in Hebrew. He used the same language, same pictures, same violent language on both accounts. The pro-Palestine account was shut down. The pro-Israel account was remained intact. That's the problem. So we have to kind of understand how to play this game. So unfortunately, but thank you.
I also just wanted to add a few things. When Shada spoke, about the journalist who came up to her and kind of questioned, I guess, maybe in the middle of the shock, one doesn't think, isn't it obvious who did it? But I think people who were from outside, looking on to what happened to Shireen, I personally wasn't completely surprised that the Israeli government and the narrative was that it was, that it was Palestinians who were responsible for the killing of Shireen Abu Akleh initially. But I think that's kind of a point that I want you all to consider, is that even though they never get held accountable by the United States, who did their own investigation or are supposed to continue to be investigating a citizen of their own, and even though they don't get held accountable by the international community, they still came up with this charade, this smoke and mirrors, because it was just adding insult to injury. And they wanted to entertain this stupid idea that it was Palestinians who were responsible for it, just to kind of push it off for a couple of months, even though, again, they have no repercussions in reality, and they know it. The soldier who did it knows it. Like I said, the indictment rate, forget about the conviction rate of soldiers in military court is less than 1%. So that is something that I think when you think about is just like adding insult to injury. This is just some of their tactics is to just further humiliate us as a people. And Andy, I think that there was something that you said, you have to be brave in order for you to be talking about Palestine. But I think I have to say as a Palestinian that, the bravery of us is nothing in comparison to the work that Shada does on the ground, the work that Shireen had done over 20 years of her life. So yes, it might be brave for us here in the United States to speak about what's going on in Palestine, but I think that Palestinians on the ground are tired of waiting for us to be brave, are tired of waiting for us to get the courage to speak up, even if it means sometimes losing friendships, losing a job, that is a small price to pay, in my opinion, in comparison to the price that people on the ground pay, whether it's with their lives or with their homes or with their crops. So I just want us to think about that as well. Okay, I want to hear from Amani, and then I'll get somebody else to talk as well.
Sometimes we get
Well,
No, you can.
I think that's okay. And just to add to what you were saying, that was a funeral that hadn't been seen in size and magnitude in probably 20 years for the Palestinian people.
In the red hat.
Yes.
Hi everyone, assalamu alaikum. Thank you very much for Al-Awda and organizers and the guests. You are really brave. You give a statement. You've done your job. It's our duty now to not let it happen again and again. It happened before. And you know what? The problem is this. This is the only victim we are, our criminal died, they are double standard. When Palestinian died, a black guy died, we have a different approach. So that protection of journalists, they never say something. Recently, when the Pakistani investigation journalist Ashar Sharif, he was forced to leave country by the ISI spy agency, which nowadays is in the control of the CIA. It gives him in Kenya, where the CIA and FDA was training camp. So this kind of thing, I'm sorry to hear that what happened in Turkey, the Saudi journalist. And what happened in Iraq war, when Hitler, Twitter, and journalists died, what happened to the journalists in Haiti and in Honduras, Egypt. So Pakistan, U.S. Freedom Forum, and Secretary General, we are always behind the struggle of the Palestinians because we know this thing. If this struggle will win, the Kashmiri will be the winner. And thank God we have some kind of international recognition. But a lot of people don't know, they said that 200,000 Kashmiri Muslim freedom fighters died. Nobody knows this thing. One of the greatest number is martyrs. That's a sad story. And you cannot visit occupied Kashmir well.
Yeah.
But I want to say, Khaled, that it would be very nice what they're doing something peacefully, in a democratic way that we have to share. And this is a good thing for everybody, it's our responsibility. If you have some minutes, some days, give us, go over there, because we are against any kind of occupation by anyone.
Yes.
And simple thing is this, Pakistan, USA, Freedom Home, very clear. These NGOs are the octopus arm of spy agencies of the international. So we are behind you. Al-Awda, you have every right to return.
Thank you.
Yes?
Thank you.
We want to see that everybody will go back, because it's as per the United Nations Charter, as per the goal of the United Nations. So we have to fulfill the United Nations. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think we have time for one more. And there's actually, I saw your hand. Can we do two more? Yeah? Okay. I'll take your question and then I'll take yours. All right. If we can make them quick, we'll take all of them.
So yeah, Shada, after hearing your story, it's so clear that you are a human rights defender. And so my question is sort of a legal question. Under international law, are journalists considered human rights defenders? And do you get the protections that human rights defenders get under international mechanisms?
إذا إحنا حماية كصحفيين I think there is يعني a law, but I think that I think everyone who يعني stand up for with freedom, with the people, with the شو الحق with truth, I think he is. Yeah, that's it. And the idea about the laws, I think for us as a Palestinian, the occupation Israel, they don't care about any laws. If they do, they will not kill us. They will not occupy us. Yeah, of course. I think they don't care, and this is why it's our duty to stand for Shireen, because Shireen is a beloved person. Everyone in Palestine love Shireen, know Shireen. For me as a journalist, you know, she was my idol. And when I saw her in the ground, it was like, how is that? And she's my idol. And I grew up when I was 5 years old. I remember that when I was 5 years old, I used to stand up like with my father and my grandfather, and they always say, "Yalla, do it like Shireen." And I used to do like her. And you know, she's my colleague, but every time I saw her in the field, I was like, "Oh my God, she's Shireen Abu Akleh." And I always speak with my all colleagues. I always joke with them, and I always yelled at them and fight with them. But when I come to Shireen, it's, oh no, I can't. And you know, sometimes when I spoke with her, you know the feeling when you saw like your teacher, you're like someone that you respect, and you can't speak with him or with her. This is what I usually do with Shireen. And after she got killed, I discovered that all of the female journalists in Palestine, they have the same feeling to her. So Shireen was known person. So when we speak about Shireen, when we ask for to get like justice for Shireen, because we know that if we got justice for Shireen, we will get justice for a lot of Palestinian martyrs, a lot of Palestinian people. Allah yarhamah.
And I think the answer is no, because I looked it up. Sorry to break it to you. But according to the United Nations Human Rights Office of the High Commissioner, they're not technically human rights defenders. They are defenders of human rights, but they're technically not. Their work can be seen as that, but it doesn't seem like they are technically, yes. Okay, what? 2 more questions.
You answered, like, I was going to ask for generation, our generation of Arabs, how important was Shireen Abu Akleh for us, like, growing up and watching Al Jazeera, describe that for people in the room who didn't grow up watching her, Al Jazeera.
يعني we know Shireen in Al-Intifada uprising, so we all watch Al Jazeera, we all sit in front of Al Jazeera, and she was there speaking and moving from city to other, from village to other. And you know, she entered every village in Palestine. You know, every village, every house in Palestine. I want to be like, because I'm a journalist, I want to be more specific. Yeah, she entered every village in Palestine. And when she got killed, from Jenin to Jerusalem, every village, that her funeral walk, every village they went out to the street. Every village they threw roses, they cried, they were fighting that they want her body to walk with her in their street to say goodbye to their village, because she went there once. So Shireen was like an idol for all the Palestinian, for all the female, because she spent her life for speaking about Palestine, and she died while she's doing her job. There is a question.
اوكي
شكرا.
بس خليه عشان احنا تفضل.
أول شيء أنت حكيتي إنه كل إنسان فلسطيني له قصة وكل طفل فلسطيني له قصة. بتحكي المسألة الفلسطيني.
He's asking in Arabic because they don't understand.
أنا رأيي إنه الشهيد اللي بيستشهد عندنا فلسطين اسألي أمه شو بتصير فيه. المشكلة الكبيرة إنه في العائلة اللي بتفقد شهيد. صح إحنا بنغني له بنكون مبسوطين بس شو تأثيره على العائلة؟ شو تأثيره على أصحابه؟ شو تأثيره على القرية اللي هو فيها؟ شو تأثيره على كل الناس اللي حواليه اللي بيعرفوه؟ هاي وحدة. الشغلة الثانية اللي بتحكي إنه القانون ما بيحمي الفلسطيني. القانون اللي بالعالم كله قاعد بيحمي كل الناس إلا الفلسطيني. سواء صحفي، سواء فلاح، سواء مزارع، صنايعي، سواء يعني شوفير، سواء يعني مين الفلسطيني احنا عندنا مش يعني
مش بخطر.
مش بخطر، مش تعبان. انا عايش في فلسطين. يعني انا من سكان فلسطين، يعني سكان كرة خلفية. وإلي ولد انجرح في الانتفاضة. يعني مش أنا بدي أحكي إنه ابني انجرح، لا بس قديش أنا عانيت لما ابني انجرح. قديش أنا عانيت. فما رأيك في اللي بيستشهد ابنها أو اللي بيستشهد زوجها، اللي بيستشهد أبوه، وخاصة على الأطفال. قديش تأثيره هذا الشيء. قديش يعني الطفل لما يفقد يروح على المدرسة يكون الأولاد يغنوا له ابن شهيد. صح هو ممكن يكون سعيد بس
هو فقد.
شيء فقد كبير. شيء يعني شيء مهم في حياته هو فقد. الشغلة الثانية اللي بتحكيها أنا نسيت لأنه ما دونتهمش يعني قاعد في شغلات كثيرة.
يا خليني أترجم وإذا تذكرت ممكن. So the gentleman was saying that, as Shada said, you know, the people who are martyred, who are بس عشان ما أنسى اللي حكيته. أوكي طب تفضل يلا.
شو بالنسبة للمحكمة تاعت شيرين؟ المحكمة الدولية شو عندها شيرين؟ وين وصلنا فيها؟
Okay, so I'll briefly translate what he said, and then he did have a question, asking about every Palestinian has a story, and maybe to soothe ourselves, we celebrate the martyrdom of our people when they are killed, but the question that we have to ask ourselves is the mother of the person who was martyred, and sometimes they're not children; they are sometimes adults, but the mother. Asking about how she might feel, even if we want to make her feel happy that her child was martyred and it is an honor, how she feels. And himself, he had a son, or he has a son who was injured during the Intifada, and he explained that he suffered immensely with his son being injured. So what about somebody who loses their son, somebody who loses their daughter, somebody who loses their husband, their wife, their parents, and that was something to think about, as if you are in such pain from someone so close to your family being injured. The second comment was about how none of us as Palestinian, it doesn't matter whether we are journalists or we are workers, if we are children, we're not safe. Our status, it doesn't matter what role in society we hold, we are not safe from the occupation. And the question was, what has happened with the court proceedings of Shireen Abu Akleh?
First of all, I want to say something about the mothers of the martyrs in Palestine. I think they are brave women. Imagine that you lose your son, but in the same time you stand up and speak about him, about his dreams, meet the journalists and speak more and more and more. And I think the reason because they don't want anyone to forget their sons. This is the idea. In Palestine, in these, like, especially this few years, because there is a lot of things happened. I interviewed a lot of mothers, martyrs, and wives, and everyone. She has her own story about her son, and you know, when she started speaking about him, you think that she's the only one that she deserves to speak about her son, to tell you that the story of this human being that he got killed. So it's important to hear the mothers. It's important, and you know, there's the martyrs who still in Israeli fridge, that when they take their bodies and they prevent the families from like put them in the grave. Yeah, yeah. So they go out every protest to speak about those children. Some of them are children, and they are going out to speak about their sons because they want to return them, even if they know that they are died, but they want to visit their grave. They want to and all the Palestinians is suffering, yeah, and they are all living in hard situation. And we should speak about the settlers that they attacked the village. For example, Turmusaya, there, for example, near Nablus, a lot of villages are attacked by the settlers. Jalboon now, they try to take houses, lands from Jalboon. There is every day there is a new things happened in Palestine. We should speak about it. And for the Kurds, I think we can't speak. It is not allowed to speak about what happened now. As yani there is like, you know, yeah, there is processing, and they told us that it is not allowed to speak about what's happening now. But they are working, yani, as they told us. We hope so.
Okay, I think we have to end it here. I want Al-Awda to think that I'm a good MC and I do things on time. So first of all, I want to thank our panelists, Andy, Khaled, and of course Shada, for being with us tonight, especially Shada, who was so generous with her time and with her story.
Thank you for coming.
And yes, of course, thank you all so much for coming, for supporting this event. We really appreciate it.
Just one reminder about the PAD. Can I remind you one more time?
Okay. And I have a reminder, but it has to be quick.
Just a quick reminder, we talked about Palestine Advocacy Day. Please, if one thing you want to take away from here tonight is that you need to advocate for Palestine. And one way to do that is to attend our event next month, October 23rd and 24th, Palestine Advocacy Day. You can Google it, AJP, Palestine Advocacy Day. And you will, the first thing that come up, one of the first few links is that link to sign up. Well, I remember everybody's face. I will make sure that you guys be there. Please come and advocate for Palestine. This is an important event that we need to see everybody there next month. Thank you.
You can talk to Khaled about that. I do have two more things. We have an event coming up next month, October 17th. It's a Tuesday. We haven't finalized the location, but it will be featuring Ramzi Baroud and Ilan Pape, who will be visiting. Ilan Pape himself is going to be visiting, and we wanted to have a space for him to be. So please save the date for October 17th. We will let you know. Please follow us on social media at Al-Awda NY on Instagram and Twitter is just Al-Awda, ALAWDA. Follow Shada. You can talk to her, but we do have to clear off the building by 9 o'clock, and we have like 10 minutes to do so. Please support Al-Awda. Please, if you can spare a little bit so that you can support our event. Thank you so much. And we'll see you next time, inshallah.